Welcome to the video series, Getting the Most from Your Mac. In this episode of Getting the Most from Your Mac, we are going to learn about the right-click menu. Today, we are going to demonstrate how to use your trackpad or keyboard to activate the right-click menu in order to access shortcuts and manage applications on your Mac. First, let's learn about what the right-click menu does and how we can activate it with our trackpad or keyboard. The right-click menu is a tool that we can use to quickly access shortcut or contextual menus on your Mac. We call it the right-click menu because we used to access these shortcut menus with a secondary button on a traditional mouse. That button was always found on the right side. Now that we're using a trackpad, we no longer have that secondary button, but we still use the name right-click to refer to the menu type. Before activating the right-click menu, you must first select an item on your computer. Remember that to select an item, you will use your trackpad to navigate to the item and click. Selected items, like the folder shown here, will be highlighted in blue. Once you have selected an item, you can activate the right-click menu. The options shown in this shortcut menu will vary depending on the item you have selected. The choices will reflect available options for that item type. There are a few ways that we can access our right-click menu. First, I will demonstrate how we can access this menu with our keyboard. To do this, you will need to find your control button and your trackpad. Pause the video to examine your keyboard and identify these buttons. When you are ready, press play to continue. By holding down your control button and clicking on a file name, you will reveal the right-click menu. As I mentioned earlier, this menu will contain a variety of options. These menu options are subject to change based on the type of object you are selecting. If you find using your keyboard and your trackpad simultaneously to be cumbersome, you can also access the right-click menu by clicking with 2 fingers on your trackpad. Pause the video and try to use the 2-finger click to activate the right-click menu. Now, let's put this into practice. As I already mentioned, activating the right-click menu will reveal shortcuts and contextual menus for whatever you select. This strategy helps to save us the time of having to navigate our cursor all the way up to the top menu bar to select the relevant menu options for whichever application you're in. For instance, if I wanted to create a new folder on my desktop, I would have to scroll all the way up here to find the new folder option in the File menu. However, with right-click, I can simply use my control button and click to reveal my right-click menu, where you can see that new folder is right here at the top. Remember that I can choose to either use my control and click buttons, or I can click on my trackpad with 2 fingers to access this right-click menu. Also, notice that the choices on this menu are different based on what I select. For instance, the menu options for my desktop are very different from the ones I would see if I were to click on a file, like this. If I were to open an application and access my right-click menu, again you'll notice that my only menu options are relevant to the application that I currently have open. To select any choices, simply drag your finger down the menu and click on the option you would like to open. Pause the video to try this on your own. Be sure to try both the control-click method and the 2-finger click to activate the right-click menu. When you are ready, please press play to continue. Now that we understand how to access the right-click menu, let's explore how we might use this to streamline our workflow. When using your right-click menu with your Finder or your desktop, you will notice that there are several options that will help you to create and manage your files and folders. Watch. From here I could create folders, or I could organize the content on my desktop. Similarly, if I click here in Finder, I only have options that are relevant to organizing and viewing the content of my Recents folder. When I open this menu in an application, on the other hand, you'll notice that my menu options now reflect the functions within that application. For instance, if I highlight a word, my menu will now reflect different options relevant to exploring, defining, or editing a word. The same is true with images. If I right-click and select this image, you'll notice my menu options now include ways to format and edit an image. Please pause the video to explore how these shortcuts and contextual menus will change based on what you select. Be sure to review how these options change as you access the menu on your desktop, within your Finder, when you select a file, or when you're working within an application. Please note that we are going to explore most of these shortcut functions in future videos in this series. When you're ready to move on, please press play to continue. Now that you have explored how the right-click menu shows contextual menus for whatever you select, let's take a look at how we can use it to manage our application. Over the course of a workday, it is not uncommon to have several windows open on your Mac. As you can see, my screen is currently quite full of windows, and my computer is currently running several applications. As you might imagine, this scenario will do very little to streamline my workflow, as I am having to spend the majority of my time toggling between these screens to find what I need. Just as this can cause issues for your efficiency, it also works to slow down your Mac. In an effort to declutter your screen, you may close your windows and choose to limit your focus to only the applications that are relevant to the task at hand. I could close these windows by just clicking here or here. While this may help to improve your productivity, it's doing very little to help your Macs. Remember, closing those windows will only close the window. It does not stop the application from running. To reduce the stress on my Mac, what I actually have to do is quit the applications. Let me show you a trick. If you examine my dock, you'll notice that there's a dot under applications that are currently running. Something I can do is I can use my right-click menu to quickly quit applications that I am no longer using. Now, I only have Chrome open and I have access to the relevant window. Pause the video and practice this on your own. Take a look at the menu options that exist by activating the right-click menu from your dock. Now, I would like to challenge you to explore the different menu options that appear as you use your right-click menu. Consider how having a quick access point for these tools and features might streamline your workflow and productivity. Compare your options when you select a file on your desktop, your Finder window, an application, or your dock. Please note, we are going to be taking a closer look at all of these options in future videos. As you investigate these contextual menus, practice using the Control key and the two-finger click in order to determine which approach feels the most comfortable to you. Don't forget to visit our Digital Tools for Learning website. Choose Apple Tools to see additional videos in the series How to Get the Most from Your Mac. If you need additional support, reach out to your school's educational technology specialist. Thanks for joining us today, and see you next time.